Hey there, welcome back to High Infidelity, the best channel for cheating stories. Like and subscribe to channel for more spicy stories. Now, let's get into today's story video. My fiance, 24 female, has no bridesmaids and it's making her so upset she wants to call off the wedding. How can I, 25 male, help? My fiance and I got engaged recently and have been dating since we were 18 years old. She's not a bridezilla, but she's envisioned a lovely wedding. She is not a sociable person and has no sisters/female cousins, thus she has no bridesmaids. 0. I, on the other hand, have a decent set of groomsmen lined up, and they're already planning a bachelor party. My fiancée is depressed since she won't have a bridal shower or baccalaureate party or anybody to go dress shopping with, and she won't even speak about weddings. Can't we simply sign a document in a courthouse? She said between sniffles. But I'm sure none of us wants that. I considered having my sisters and relatives serve as bridesmaids, but they don't know her well and are unlikely to want to. How can I assist her? Update. I wasn't expecting such a quick update. Unless something spectacular happens. I didn't expect to update at all. That is exactly what happened. In a nutshell, I have the greatest pals on the planet. I went through a lot of these comments, but not all of them, almost 1,000, and chose to check for my fiancée's wedding planning box since I had a hunch. Inside the box were magazine cuttings of a large church wedding, floral ideas, and other items. Then I saw photos of the outfits. They were all large, poofy, decorative items that had nothing to do with my fiancée's aesthetic. But they look a lot like the outfits my sisters wore to their weddings. It all came together for me. My girlfriend probably doesn't want a church wedding or any of the other frills. She's just trying to gain my family's approval. The devil. I know I should have recognized this sooner and become more active. My girlfriend returned home on Thursday to spend time with her father, Father's Day weekend, and everything. Because I couldn't attend due to work, I was alone till this morning. So, late at night, I dialed Ravi's number, 26 male. Ravi is my closest friend. We've known each other since we were children, separated when we went to college and reunited 3 years ago. We relocated to South Carolina so that I could work for the firm where he is employed. I recently started talking to Ravi. Even though it was late, he listened to my concerns regarding my fiancée. He stated it was highly possible that she was attempting to gain favor with my family, but she wasn't going to acknowledge it easy. He said that he will speak with her. I informed him that he knew very little about her. He told her not to worry and that he'd be there tomorrow evening. This morning, my fiancée came home pleased, like she often does after meeting her father. I left for work without inquiring about the wedding, and she proceeded to work on her writing. She's on vacation this summer. I arrived home early, and about 5 p.m., Ravi and my other close pals Carson, Andrew, and Tim arrived to my place. 23-30 male. I'd known all of these men from different locations, and we're a great bunch. Nonetheless, this was unexpected. Ravi approached my girlfriend and informed her that the men were taking her wedding gown shopping. We were both very terrified out. I had no clue this was going to happen, and my girlfriend seemed to want to crawl into a hole and die. She said to me, "They won't like me," and I encouraged her to go for it. Ravi told her that he has sisters, Carson has been divorced, and Andrew has had his fair share of girlfriends, so they are well versed in the art of dressing. In addition, he has a woman friend who works at a little shop where they would first test. He said something like, "Hey, you're marrying our closest buddy. Don't you think we should get to know you and make sure you're not a ghost or anything?" She still didn't want to attend. He's not very good at tact, but she gave in after a little giggle. They were out for a bit and returned around an hour ago. They didn't locate a dress, but they shopped about for a time and fiancé discovered a style she loved, not the poofy ball gown style. They'd also went out for ice cream, and when they came home, she was smiling and joking with them all. I hadn't seen her in a long time who was so cheerful. It was incredible. Then we all sat down, and Ravi asked her to tell me what was on her mind. I'm still baffled as to how they got her to open up. She murmured that she didn't want the huge church wedding, that she wanted to postpone it for a bit and prepare a little ceremony for only the people we care about. I was all for it, telling her not to worry about bridesmaids or anything, since it could just be the two of us. She declined, stating that she wanted her father, the boys, and my family to be there. Andrew, a badass guitarist, offered to put together a band for us. He'd think up an arrangement if he asked my fiancée what her favorite song was. This is the kind of inquiry she typically avoids. But she reddened slightly and stated the truth. If anybody is interested, the song is Panama by Van Halen. Chick knows how to rock out. This was the true indicator that she was beginning to trust them. I don't believe anybody knows her favorite song Save Myself and her father, who used to buy her Van Halen CD when she was a kid. I told her I'd phone my family and inform them the church wedding was canceled. I don't care if they make a big deal out of it. I have my brothers and my lovely future spouse. That is all the family I need. Story 2. Married for 19 years before my wife cheated on me. This is my first visit to Reddit. I'll be 75 in July, and I've seen a lot. To be honest, I wanted to share my tale with the younger generation before I died. Because I have lung cancer and don't expect to live much longer, this information has to go out there. In 1964, I was 18 years old when I married. It's as though I'm no longer the same person. I used to be in excellent physical condition, but now I'm confined to a wheelchair. My wife and I had to work full-time since I didn't have enough money to support both of us. She cleaned hotel rooms while I worked on construction. We never had children and yet had time to ourselves on weekends. I don't believe we ever fought, but it's been so long that I'm forgetting, and we didn't have any problems getting along. I began to generate more money over time, and she was able to leave her work and remain at home. I would work longer nights, however, and our marriage honestly deteriorated into a friendship. We seldom had, and although I still loved her, I felt something was missing. We didn't spend nearly enough time together in the end. I accept responsibility for taking us down the wrong path with my employment. As you will see later, this was not the only problem, but I should have corrected it while I still had the opportunity. When I go home from work one night, everything seems to be usual. Dinner was served, and the TV was on. To baseball, which used to be my favorite sport. I chatted to her briefly in the kitchen before going to my room to change out of my work clothes. When I walked in, I saw a box of condoms on my nightstand. I began to worry since I had a vasectomy years ago and had never used condoms. I quickly questioned my wife about them, and she was unable to come up with an answer in time. She burst into tears and confessed to the infidelity. She brought a coworker over for while I was away and apparently failed to dispose of the condoms. I'm not embarrassed to confess that I, too, was moved to tears after hearing that. When I asked her why she did this, she replied she wasn't attracted to me, was lonely, and didn't like our. I couldn't think of anything to say and ended up leaving. We divorced after 19 years of marriage. I was a catastrophe in my 40s. I had lost all hope and tried to continue. I began drinking and gradually developed into an alcoholic. It took me until I was in my 60s to break this habit. I couldn't look in the mirror and see myself as a failure of a guy. I wanted to date again, but I was afraid that the same thing might happen. It never occurred to me that I was awful in bed, and I had no good responses. My skin began to wrinkle a little, particularly on the back of my legs, but I took care in keeping my figure for a long, and I swore she loved it when I had throughout our marriage. I preserved my tough man persona into my 30s, and I still wore my bandana during, which she found appealing. I was a generous person who always went down on her when she asked. I utilized cock rings to keep erections going and could always climax extra hard, which was a fetish of hers. I couldn't do anything else if I tried my hardest. However, as time passed, I began to consider the thought that was it all that vital at an older age, and I began dating again approximately 5 years ago. We don't have an active life, but she assured me that nothing was wrong with me. I remarried last year, which made me very happy, but sadly it was also the time when I was diagnosed with cancer. I've lost a lot of energy since then, and my new wife is the only one who keeps me going. We're attempting chemotherapy, but the outlook is grim. In my final days, I'd want to contribute some of the information I've gained over the years in order to make the world a better place. My mental faculties are also deteriorating, therefore I need to act quickly. I hope everyone who reads this can take something from me to make their lives better.